What up? Y'all, remember when I told y'all this morning I said, when she come home, she goes straight to the bed. Straight. Didn't even take off my work clothes. Y'all see, I still got my dress on, but I was like, I need to lay down. Woo. How y'all doing on this Terry Thick Tuesday? Man, when you lay down with your work clothes still on, you know what kind of evening and day you had. I ain't gonna sleep in my work clothes though, y'all. I'm gonna get up. You know what I meant to ask y'all earlier? We were talking about this in the office, and I wanted to see what y'all say. If you could change just one thing about your physical self, what would that one thing be? And listen, we are all cousins. We all family. And ain't none of us perfect. None of us. But if I could only pick one thing about my physical appearance or my physical body, one thing that I would change, if I could, I would make me less hairy. Y'all probably like, what? What's she talking about? What I mean is, it's hair. I do got to get up and get my hair together. I have been really a hairy girl all my life. You know, now it's just what it is, right? I don't feel no way. I wax my mustache. I wax my beard. All of this stuff. But just the fact that a girl is even saying mustache and beard makes me feel some type of way. I have had a mustache since 5th grade. And I have hated it since 5th grade. So if I could change one physical thing about myself, and it can only be one thing, it would be to make me less hairy. I got teased all through school. Like, I have self-confidence now, and I'd be like, I'm T-Mom, what? But back then, they would call me Sasquatch because I was so hairy. I was like a young girl with hairy legs, hairy arms. They used to call me Sasquatch. And then in high school, they used to call me Aunt Bunny. Yep, I got teased because I have always been so hairy. So that's the one physical thing that I would change about myself. Evelyn, you say you would change your hair. Okay, if I could change, no, I ain't gonna say two things. We sticking with one thing. If you could only pick one thing, one physical thing about yourself that you would change, what would that be? And I said I would change how hairy I am, because I just got finished waxing my mustache again. Because if I don't do it every week, I will look like these men on here. And it's been that way all my life, y'all. I don't get the, like, I guess people can go to a dermatologist and you can get some sort of, I don't know, permanent hair removal or something like that. I've never done that. I don't be into all of that extra stuff. I just buy the stuff at the store and just wax it. But when I was a young girl, I would shave. You go and sneak my father's razor. When I was about 13, because I got sick of being teased. I was so sick of it, and I was about to go into high school the next year. I didn't want to go into high school with a mustache and hairy legs and hairy arms. I remember getting my dad's razor, sneaking, and shaved, okay, and cut my lip. I think you can't see it on here, but I still have a cut, permanent cut. Terrible. And that didn't do no good, because it grew back worse after that. So yeah, I'm like, I guess God made some girls more hairy than normal girls, because this shit ain't normal. I just waxed my, I just did this. I took the wax and did this part, and I stripped the thing off, and I looked at it. I was like, the fuck? Are you a girl or a boy? For real, y'all. So that's what I would change about myself. That's like, I don't want to have to always do that, but I have always had to do that all my life. Yeah, all my life. All my life. I've been hairy all my life. So what would y'all change? If there was one thing you could change about your physical self, what would that one thing be? What would it be, y'all? What would it be? That's what I want to know. That's the question of the night. Now I gotta go braid my hair, because that's the only way you can keep this kind of hair decent and keep it from getting tangled and matted. I braid it up every night. I take good care of it. So you would change your hair, Mary? You're the second person that said they would change their hair. Yes, Susan. When I was her age, I felt the same way. I don't know what her legs look like, but my legs were hairy at 13. I'm telling y'all, they were calling me Sasquatch and Aunt Bunny, and I just used to hate it. And I grew up with I was very, very, very self-conscious about it. It took me to high school. When I got in the 9th grade, I still had all this hair on my legs and stuff, and people started teasing me right away. But it was an older boy at high school, a senior. All of the older boys, like, I was in the 9th grade, and 12th grade boys liked me. And here's the thing. Let me tell y'all something real quick. I'm in the 9th grade, and a lot of the 12th grade boys liked me. Some of them are probably on Facebook today that we went to Parkdale together, and they was in the 12th grade and I was in the 9th. They remember. They liked me. But I wasn't a fly girl. I wasn't like, I was like a country girl. I was the girl that used to wear stockings to school, and I had a little work tote bag where all of my friends was like cool, and they wore all of the designer stuff. They had drug dealer boyfriends, but they all loved me. But I wasn't like one of the fly girls. I was just super country. Pantyhose though. Yes, that was me. But all of the older guys still liked me. And so what my point is, y'all know I get off track. I have ADD. I be all over the place. But one of the older guys told me, he was just like, girl, them hairy legs, that's sexy. Why he tell me that? Because ever since he told me that, I stopped worrying about the people that were teasing me because I was so hairy. Because I would be like, well, older boys say it is sexy. I would make it was only one boy who told me that, but I would make it plural. I would be like, older boys, they said it's sexy. And so ever since then, I stopped having a complex about it. Now, I don't like it. So once I got old enough to do what I wanted to do, I always kept my legs, mustache, chin. I kept all of that shaved. Still to this day, I can't stand a hairy leg. I can't stand it. Not for a woman. I just don't like it. So I always make sure I still do it. I still shave my mustache. Not shave. I wax my mustache. Wax this. Wax this. Wax this. But why do I have to do that? That's what I would change about myself. If I could change one physical thing about myself, I would be like, don't make me hairy like that. I don't want that. Take that away. But I learned to live with it. And, yeah. So that's all I wanted to see what y'all would say. Because we were talking about that earlier today at the office and saying, if you could change one physical thing about yourself, what would it be? And that's what I said about myself. Like, I would change maybe two, 3 more things. But we only get one thing. You can only get one thing. And what would that thing be? All right, I'm going to read the comments. Y'all have a good night. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow for Hump Day Wednesday. Hump Day Wednesday. You know what? It won't be me, unfortunately. It won't be me. But I do hope if you're in a predicament where you can get humped on tomorrow, on hump day, I hope that for you. I do. I be hoping that for you. One day. For me. One day. One of these days. Alright, y'all. I'm being real silly because I'm tired. When you get so tired, you start acting delirious. Alright. What just happened on my phone? Good night, y'all.